doing a quick video because I'm afraid I won't be able to type fast enough while the thoughts are fresh. Working on the stage one of doing a full season, specifically in terms of the mushroom cultivation, using the Rubbermaid shed, the BH80, as the grow house to begin with. So yeah, I just did a walk out there so I could see while I had the steps fresh in my head. One of the concerns, two major concerns, because space, no problem. Location, actually super good location. Um, Height, weight, all that, gonna fit the shelves, be able to put a full tent in, no big. The problem was electricity and cleaning sanitation. Uh, Basic cleaning, fine. Sanitation, we would require water and cleaners. One of the obstacles of that is trying to do this in a system where I'm trying to use the cleanest products possible and stay as biodegradable and eco-friendly at every step. And that is with electricity and with cleaning sanitation. So what I found out today, I won't bother going through what I can't do. I'll focus on what I can do. And what I will be able to do is use hydrogen peroxide and still be able to do a gray water system. I looked at the Oregon State Extension. They have incredible permaculture information, and looking at several of their gray water filtration systems, the one that would work well for what we have is having a PVC drip, but that would go into the ground, and in that recessed space, there'd be the layer of wood chip. Oh, wait, there's two different things actually, and both of these would work. Number one, the wood chip bed that does the slow absorption of the gray water, and then putting beneficial plants around that would take the water that has already been mildly filtered, and these plants do the final filtration. And the next is a shallow lined, I would not say pond because this is something that can be wet or dry according to how much water is flowing through. But it is done shallow so that the roots and I'll just say my hand is undulating, but an uneven surface on the base so that the roots have more surface area to water contact and be able to do the actual job of filtration and cleaning that water. And the final point is that the bottom is not porous, that it is this one is a closed system. The first one is an open system that is just slowed down. The second one is a closed system that is purely to clean this water. And the plants are there to do exactly that. There's nothing wrong with either one. From what I've seen, as far as how much water, that will probably be the ultimate dictator because both of these systems are completely doable here. Almost all the materials are already on property. So that won't be the either or thing that knocks one out. It's more labor than cost, and the cost between doing the two are not too far off, so that's not going to be what knocks it out, one or the other. So then I've got to sit down and really look at how much water by gallon that I would expect to be processed per week, per month, however that looks, and see if the plants can handle it. Is it too much? Is it not enough? Do we make a bigger bed? I walked the pad at the edge of the pad, the concrete pad that's already there, is a perfect natural drop off. So there's a natural space where a trench or the pit style could be dug, and I mean, it's nuts that either one of them, without moving a single thing, except shifting a little bit of natural space, that this gray water system can absolutely work. So, I, looking at the cultivation for the size that would fit in the shed, the last thing I need to do is sit down and think of how many gallons per week um, of gray water I would estimate needs to be filtered. And that will be the last arbiter to decide which way we're going to go. But yeah, one of the big concerns was, will I be able to sanitize and stay gray? And I was beginning to think it wasn't possible. But then that doesn't make sense. At the same time, when you take a moment and go, hang on, hang on, hang on. We haven't been actively killing ourselves forever. So clearly there was a way to sanitize before we made things that destroy us. So hydrogen peroxide is actually going to be usable. And that's crazy exciting. Um, and I found three solid companies outside of that simple, it's not a difficult thing to say, to find, but cleaning companies that are truly clean. They don't just say it. So um, there will be usable, gray water friendly industrial soaps and hydrogen peroxide for sanitation, and now two viable, doable, truly doable systems for gray water. Yeah, super exciting. Lastly, the electricity issue. Um, I've gone back and forth. I didn't want to put out another junction box. I didn't want to have an electrician and blah, the blue de blah, for what really is a small amount of energy needed to run it. It just seemed crazy to go through all this big bad boogity just to run a little bit of juice. Um, so the system I think I'm going to go with are electrical charged generator, knowing that it will be adapted to a solar wind panel. Trying to keep the cost down starting out. I need to be able to just charge that little rascal right off of what we have right now. And then one of the first things to flip is to pick up the solar and wind panel, because there's a perfect spot on the pad already to put it. The setup would be easy. Truly, the research I've done on all of the requirements, space, distance, all of it, everything is met in the space that I've looked at, and it would be a simple pickup. So there's energy and there's gray water. So yeah. Some of those knots that felt like Gordian are now becoming square. That's it. That's it. It was easier than writing it down. And now to write it down.